Okay. So I sort of wanted to talk about. I'm just gonna put this at this level because I don't know. I don't really want to look pretty in these videos. Maybe I'll take my glasses off. No, I'll keep them on. I don't know. But I sort of wanted to talk about being passable. Um, because, like, when you're trans, part of. I think a lot of people's goals when they're transitioning is to be passable and to pass and be able to be normal and sort of comfortable within, you know, going place to place and knowing that everyone thinks you're a chick and not having any questions. But, personally, I mean, the interesting thing about being passable is that, when you talk about being passable, a lot of people sort of think being passable is being pretty, and it's not. I mean, I think the first passable transsexual that I ever met was a large, overweight, ugly. This fucking guy keeps texting me. It's pissing me off. Overweight, transsexual. But I mean, when you're sort of large, you don't even necessarily need to like be trans. You can sort of be a cross-dresser and still pull it off. But that's beyond the point. And they were passable. I mean, they weren't attractive to me, but they were passable. And being passable doesn't mean being pretty. You know, I always try to look at it like this: like, I don't consider myself pretty, and I don't consider myself ugly. I know the facts. I know that when I go out in public, even when I'm like not wearing makeup or I'm not wearing, even sometimes when my hair is slicked back and like I'm trying to look like a dude, people still think I'm a chick. Shut the fuck up. So pissed. He's pissing me off. I'll talk about this later. But, sorry. But, I know that that's what happens, and I know that I'm passable and that I don't have that issue. Um, it's sort of, oh my god. I've got to turn my phone off because this is driving me insane. Anyway, I know I'm passable because whenever I go out, everyone thinks I'm a woman. I mean, occasionally you'll get like those really hard stares that are sort of like curious and like not sure, but I think I'm pretty sure that most people assume that I'm a woman. And like when I was first starting out, I remember specifically when I was going to Venice Beach, and this was in still like my weird like sort of androgynous sort of phase, but I was going to Venice Beach, and me and the guy that I was dating at the time, um, we were walking down the street, and this guy asked if I want to listen to his music, and I was kind of like not really, but he sort of like walked up and he was like, hey, do you want to listen to this music? I always said like, do you want to check out? I don't know, said something, but then he said like, ma'am, gay sir. And it was really interesting that he like used ma'am, gay sir. It's like, is that if that's the progression of femininity? Because he couldn't really tell what I was. And like, if there's one thing I realized when I was androgynous is that people are so threatened by androgyny. Like, I have this great friend, and he's very androgynous. He's genderqueer, and he doesn't identify as either gender. And he has a lot of hard times getting men because he finds that a lot of guys try to change who he is, and they try to sort of make him more male or more female, and he just likes being in between. And it's sort of interesting because I was like that, and I realized that. I remember even when I was hooking up with a lot of guys, like, I would always run into guys that would say that I should do drag, or that I should cross dress, or I should do this, or I should do that, because there was just something about my natural features that was very feminine, you know. And ever since, and you know, and it was interesting to hear people say that to me, because that's how I felt. But I sort of put those feelings about myself behind me a long time ago. And it wasn't until I went away to college and actually like met and just knew different people that I actually realized, like, hey, this can happen. You can do this. Because honestly, like, that identity was always so weird for me because I never felt male, you know? I always felt like I was trying to be male, and it wasn't really the way that I wanted to be. Um, that was really hard for me. That was a really hard phase in my life because I just didn't fit in anywhere. Um, but you know, back then I wasn't too passable, but you know, people still sort of thought I was a chick, a lesbian. Or usually they thought I was a lesbian. Um, but even like on my old YouTube channel, some guy thought I was a lesbian, which was really interesting to me at the time. But you know, as I sort of got into actually like accepting myself, I became more passable. Um, and you know, it's interesting because I sort of feel like being passable is something that you have to sort of get the someone else has to say that to you, because I know plenty of people that say they're passable, but they're not passable. I mean, I know it's really hard to look at for this camera, but I'm pretty passable. I mean, and this is my natural face too. Um, and you know, I only say that because it hasn't been. It's been a long time since someone has. In fact, like in the past, it's been months and months and months. I think it's been about a year where I've gone out in public and someone thought I was a guy. You know, it's even like to the point where like when I go out dancing, a guy will dance with me, and I'll have to pull him to a side, and tell him that I'm trans. Um, it's sort of, I don't know. It's really interesting. It, I have a lot of anecdotes and stuff that I can just rant about all day, but I really don't want to do that. But you know, I sort of want to know about other people's experiences, like going from being more androgynous to being feminine, because I feel like everyone, at least unless you had like really accepting parents, like starts from an androgynous start point and then goes into the femme where you're just femme all the time and you're a chick, you know. So I don't know, like I kind of want to hear it. If anyone sees this and they want to make a video response, like go for it, because I'm definitely interested in hearing. So yeah, I look horrible, but I don't really care because I'm not making videos so people can say, "Oh my God, how you're so pretty." I'm like making videos to start discussions. So, what do you think about passable, and like what's passable to you? Like, what's passable? Because I know to some people, and this is super rare, but some people still tell me that I'm not passable. And like I said, it's hard to see on this video. It's a really bad shot of me. You're looking at my nose, but it's just hard for me to believe that when I know that I am. So I don't know. Like, what do you think? Not about me, but what do you think about being passable? And like, what were your sort of trials and tribulations? So let me know. Bye.